Oh, it would be good if I put on my microphone, wouldn't it? There we go. I don't know what happens. This microphone cord always gets so tangled. And really, I don't do anything with it all week long. Hi, Kathy Jo. It's Thursday. It's 4 p.m. here on the West Coast. And we've got to stop meeting like this. Oh no, please, let's continue meeting like this. You wouldn't believe what this cord for the microphone is doing. Never mind, you can't see it and it's not causing any trouble. So, okay, so here we are. I've got a project for you today. And it is using single sentiment dies. Single dies for sentiment cards. How does that sound? So am I coming through? Oh, hi Marlene. How's the weather in Nanaimo? Probably exactly the same as it is here. Okay, I think, well, not quite under control. I haven't, I've been having some issues with Facebook the last few days. I'm going to sit down and see if I can get the broadcast coming up. I don't know. Oh, no, that's the notification of the broadcast. It's always nice to see what you're seeing. And I can usually do that, but I can't seem to be able to. Oh, there's hope. Facebook woke up. Or maybe it's my connection. Oh, there we go. I see it. I see it. We're live right now. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, there's my welcome sign. It's the standard welcome sign. I sort of did another one, but I think it got buried in the fray. So I'm Suzanne, and I'm a calligrapher, and I design all these dies for Elizabeth Craft Designs. And I should tell you that we have a blog, and we have a couple of blogs at Quietfire, and there's the creations blog and the digital blog, and we post 3 to 4 times a week on the blogs, and there's lots of inspiration, lots of variety. So please drop in and see us, and maybe subscribe by email. It's always a good way. The full thing comes out by email, so you don't have to click on links to go to the blog to check it out. Also, we're on the Elizabeth Craft Design blog, usually once a week. And you can find me on Facebook on the Quietfire Design page. That's where you are right now. And the Suzanne Cannon fan group on Facebook, which is a new group, and where we're inviting people to come and share their artwork and creations that they've made with Quietfire products, even digital, stamps, stencils, certainly dies for sure. And sign up for our newsletter. I'll usually send you out maybe some inspiration. I'll send you out news about sales. You never know what's going to go into the newsletter. So I should tell you, I have a new category on the Quietfire site, and it's called Letters Live, where I put items that I carry on my site in that category. And actually, I didn't do it today, though. You'll have to forgive me. So I've been doing these live broadcasts now for quite a few weeks, and so it seems to be a tradition, and it will keep on going. So that's 4 p.m. on Thursdays on the Quietfire Design page. And the broadcasts, I've also archived them on my YouTube channel. And I think Kathy Jo, who is giving you all sorts of links. Thank you, Kathy Jo. So the YouTube channel has them archived. You just won't see all the comments, and you won't see the links to the products or what happened when. But all the information's there, and it's also kind of easier to find than scrolling through Facebook. So having said that I do these every Thursday at 4 p.m., I'm taking a 2-week break. Yay! You won't miss me. Oh, sure you will. Come on. Okay, today, I should do this. Yay, let's go. Today, we're doing a card like this. So this card's been around for a little while, and you might have seen it. Welcome. We'll get rid of that. And I'll show you how to do the background technique. Uh-oh, I've just realized I'm in big trouble. I forgot to close the door, and the cat's in here. So if I have to run, you'll know why, because he can be just a little devil. He's black. Goes without saying, right? So, hello. Now this is part of a few cards that I'm going to show you today that just have a single die cut in the middle. If you need a card really fast, well, this is a really nice technique. And so you can whip one up and use whatever you have on hand. Ooh, Yvonne, my goodness. Hi there, girl. I don't know what time it is. Let's see if I add 8 hours. Oh my goodness, you're up late. Hi. I hope the weather's as good over there as it is here. I could use a European holiday right now. Well, I'll talk to the husband unit about that. Okay, so here I have hello. And this is a distress oxide background. Just stripes of distress oxide and spritz. And let me show you how you can do that. Oh, you know what? Let's talk about what I'm using to do it. Work with. I'm jumping ahead here. Okay, well, you all know I'm blending challenged, so I rely a lot on the specialty stamping paper from Ranger. These are the 8.5 by 11 sheets. If you want to do this kind of card, you can just divide this into 4, and oh boy, you will have so much fun with this. I find this it's smooth. It's a matte coated cardstock, so it's not glossy, but it blends, colors blend really nicely on it. Okay. That's that. Let's look at the dies we're using today. I've got out the Happy Birthday, Welcome, and these are all from Elizabeth Craft Designs. Surprise, and Hello. So, and actually this reminds me to tell you that all the prices on my site are in Canadian dollars, so they look higher compared to the American, but they're virtually the same. So, yes, so you can get all the dies at Elizabeth Craft Designs, and you can also get them from me. I don't think I'm out of any of them, which is always a good thing. And we're using the usual glue dots for adhesive, and we're also going to use the 3D foam squares from Scrapbook Adhesives for this. And actually, I'll get that out of the way. We're also using Ranger Distress Oxides, and like I say, any stamp ink that you have will do the job. Okay, what else do we have to do? Paper, where I talked about, any other paper that you have for the card base and formatting the main panel. It can be whatever you have on hand. Sometimes it's a great way to use up cardstock that you have a little piece of. So yeah, so the other thing is the ink blending tools are a good thing with the little foamy on them. The Distress Oxides, the bone folder, I just always have handy. It's great for, it's got a little piece of tape on it. It's handy for scoring and burnishing down your fold on your card. The awl does all sorts of things. Yes, awl, A-W-L. And it does all, A-L-L, sorts of things. And for poking out little bits of paper that might have gotten stuck in or not come out of the die cut. Tweezers, probably won't have to use them much today, but they're always handy to have. Same with the scissors, and I love these pink scissors and the pink tweezers. They're available from Elizabeth Craft Designs, and they stand out in a crowd, so I love having those handy. The Tombow Mono Zero eraser, soapstone pencil eraser, and I'll show you all how to use all these things in a little while. Oh yes, and of course the T-square. Okay, so really it's whatever you want to do, but blueprint sketch is what I'm going to start with today. And all you have to do is do some pouncing and maybe a little swiping. That's a really strong color, so keep that in mind. You might not want to use a whole lot of it. Let's just leave that there for now. The picked raspberry, let's put it right alongside. So I'm just pouncing and then swiping. And wilted violet. And stroke that a bit. And then let's go back to the picked raspberry, just so that the heavier colors on the outer edge. Let's just pounce it wherever we want here. Why not? See how strong that color is? Okay. And then what I didn't mention before was the spritzer. So you can take your spritzer, and it's always good to know your spritzer quite well so that you know whether it's going to give you big drops, little drops. Anyways, I get a bit of both from this one. So, oh, a lot of little ones today. And that's what I find makes this so interesting. This distress stuff just is so much fun to play with. Just going to reach over here for a paper towel. I think maybe the cat went to sleep. We got lucky. So I'm just going to put that over there. Give that a little spritz. Wipe it up. So that looks like it's just going to be a lot of little speckles. Oh, it almost looks like it's turning into a crackle over there. You'll never get the same thing twice. And these seem to mute a little bit as they dry. They're not quite as bright after a while. So you can use a heat gun to heat that up. Or you can just let it air dry. I usually let it air dry. I love it in the darker colors. It really shows up in the darker colors. And you can actually go over that again with another. I don't really want to do it while it's wet, but you can go over and then you get sort of muted drops. You can also mix it up a little bit more, but I quite like it separate. Now I've only used 3 colors in this one. You remember the hello that I did first. That's 5 colors. And you can see how it actually ran quite a bit. So again, like I say, it's good to know your spritzer. And obviously this one gave me bigger drops. I also might have held my hand up so that some of the big drops came off my hand and I might have flicked. So I quite like this background. And this background this one is peeled paint. Nope, that's the peeled paint. It's the kind of olivey one. Fossilized amber, faded jeans, cracked pistachio, and fired brick. And hopefully Kathy Jo has that hand. Oh, look at that. Boy, you are just hot today, Kathy Jo. Way to go. And this set, and I don't know whether you've already shared it, is the blueprint sketch, the picked raspberry, and wilted violet. Gorgeous colors. Okay, so let me show some of the other things that I've done before we turn that into a card. Here's another background. Now this might be a great guy background. You know, it's a bit more muted. You could make it pretty vintagey looking. So this particular one is Guess. Guess. It's a test. Vintage photo. Walnut stain, vintage photo, and broken china. That broken china is a gorgeous color. I've got to start using it more. Can you see? Yes, I think you can, where I've gotten bigger drops in there. And it's a bit more blended, and I quite like that. I think that's very pretty. And I'll show you another one. And this one, I think it's very delicate, kind of springy. You can certainly use colors to accent the mood, like if it's spring or if it's a guy card. If it's a sympathy card, you might want to use pastels. This set is anybody guessing? Oh, wait a minute. Kathy Cho already put it up. It's cracked, I can read it right off there. Cracked pistachio, twisted citron, and peacock feathers. And again, I love what the water has done in the middle. And it's quite muted in the lemon. Twisted citron. Not lemon. Okay, I think that's the... Oh, I do have one more at the back here to share with you. And that's the same as the original one with the 5 colors. And that can be a very beautiful way. But really, there's no nothing you can do wrong with these distress inks. They just work really well together. Okie doke. Now, let me show you what I plan to do with these. I don't plan to do anything with that one. Let's take this one, which is the guy one. And what I plan to do is take that, and that is Coordinations cardstock, and so's that. And try to choose cardstocks that are similar to the colors in the distress. Now, you know, Coordinations had for a while a pad of paper that was the same as the distress colors, and you can't seem to get that anymore. So, which is really unfortunate. So you'll have to kind of wing it. And then I cut Happy Birthday, and it can go just like that. And I think that's a pretty nice card. I really like those colors. Okay, let's move that aside. And let's go back to this one. Now, suppose you have somebody coming into the neighborhood that's new, and maybe you might like to give them a welcome card because you're a nice person and you want to see what their house looks like. Did I say that? And so there we have a card that is picking up the colors in here. You could probably go with greens. I probably wouldn't go with yellows. There's not enough contrast. Contrast is a wonderful thing. And I'll give you an example of contrast here. And although that looks okay, so you're giving a welcome card to the new neighbor and checking them out at the same time. I think that's better. It's just got more, the welcome stands out, there's more contrast, and it makes for a better card. So you see what I mean? It really doesn't take long. One die cut, the thing that's going to take you the longest is to wait for the spritzing to dry. Okay, so I thought that was pretty nice. Now with this one, I don't really have any more, but black, never underestimate black. It stands out, makes a statement. Sometimes it's a surprise. I love it on the original card with the hello, and matting it on a piece of black cardstock, and then pulling in a color like the bright yellow that you might have, but it's not a color that you really want to, well, you know, it's kind of hanging around not doing much, so it's a good way to use it. So yes, surprise. Now what would you give that to someone for? Okay, let's go back to this. I think it's dry now. I'll just give you a little look at this, and you can pounce it a little more, and if you pounce it more and blend it, it can give a really nice effect, but it can also make it a much stronger background. So then you need to go to a darker color. If you go really, really, really dark, then you can put a white die cut on the front. So, oh, let's look and see what it looks like on this side. There. You can see how that kind of mutes some of the speckles in there compared to here. And it's kind of nice to blend it into the other color too with a second layer. Okay, I'm going to put that aside for right now. And then go back to, here I have one that's all dry and ready to go. And I also have the various bits and pieces cut for it. Now, here's one of these ones where I struggled with, you know, you think it's going to work, in your head it's going to work, it's going to be beautiful, and then you put it together and you go, maybe not so good. So I tried that. I went, oh, well, maybe not. And then I thought, well, then let's make a darker one as a drop shadow. See, that's a perfectly legitimate way to increase the girth of the, see, this is why I keep my awl handy. Just to poke out those counter spaces that like to hang around. So use that as a drop shadow, but again, it really doesn't have the oomph. Okay, sometimes depending on the word. See, it really isn't doing it. Okay, so then if you want to do something really simple, go with dark. Works every time. Isn't that a nice card to celebrate? It's your birthday. It's your anniversary. Whatever's happening in your life. Okay, let's put this one together. And it won't take long. But you know what, I'm really picky about getting these die cuts on straight. So let me share that with you. Just going to wipe that up. If you're curious, this is a Ken Oliver mat, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I've had it for a while. But, oh, Diana, this heavy-duty poker, it's actually a bookbinding awl. I use it for teaching bookbinding, and it's great for poking the holes for 4-ply waxed linen thread. That's why I have it. So, okay, baseline. We're going to make one. So let's put that approximately the center. And we're going to take the... Oh, I was saying about this Ken Oliver mat, it's not very slick. I like it because it sticks down really well and doesn't move at all. I don't have to tape it down. But it's also kind of sometimes a bit too sticky. Okay, I can't push back too far. I've got some space constrictions here. Okay, so I'm going to butt that up against the edge of the cardstock. And I want to position that maybe a bit lower. Move that down a bit. Yeah, things are kind of sticky here. Okay. A little lower too, again. Sometimes looking at it sideways lets you tell which is the center. Okay, I'm going to take that off, out of the way. And make sure that that's lined up with the edge of the cardstock, and I'm going to run a really pale line with the pencil and put that up there. And then I'm going to take my glue dots and I'm going to roll them off the release paper and stick them on the widest parts of the letters. Often that's where two letters join, but not necessarily. It's where flourishes come out of a word sometimes. Usually at least one glue dot at the end of the word, one in the middle, and one at the beginning of the word. And often, depending on the cardstock and how damp it is in your neighborhood, we're talking weather. Sometimes you'll need the flourishes want to curl up, so a little glue dot on there. And again, I love these glue dots because they will come off if you need them to. If you're using wet glue, you're toast. Once it's down, it's down. Okay, so I think we can center this pretty well. Keep in mind there's an actual end to this and a visual end to this. And the visual end comes somewhere near here. So it's almost like you can disregard how this flourish comes out of here. So don't get caught up in centering something and this flourish might get in your way. So I like to put it down on the line. I don't know if you can see the line. I can see it. And on one side, then you have a little bit of wiggle room. And you can see where the baseline of the lettering is. The baseline is the line where the letters sit. A little hard to see sometimes, but so there we go. And it's down, and it should be straight. It better be straight. Sometimes it's an optical illusion because flourishes go down. Don't get caught up in that. Okay, so, for a card, I'm happy with that. I might put another little glue dot under there, but it's a card. It's not like a book cover and it's going to get a lot of abuse. And then the last thing I'm going to do is take out the larger glue dots and just add them to the back of this blended panel. And this panel is just cut a little bigger than the main panel. I don't think something's square there, but never mind. You can trim that on your own. And then I love doing dimensional, and I always seem to have, now this paper's called Romance, and it's by Basil. I know that because it doesn't cut very well on my digital cutter. So I have to, great color, and these are the foam adhesive squares by Scrapbook Adhesives, and they are my fave, and they're certainly fast to use. This comes on a roll as well, so you could actually run lines of adhesive, and I use that sometimes too. And make sure you get this right. It's not upside down, so the fold's on the top. Tent fold. And then center. I hope that that's straight. And there we have it. Pretty. So, background, single sentiment, and yes, nice and clean, Wendy. Thank you. Oh, the card base, Judy, is 5 by 5.5 by 7, so it's a little bigger than a 5 by 7. A laser line. I think it would be faster to use the T-square. No, I don't use a laser line. I think it wouldn't be fine enough, but some people use them for lettering, but I haven't tried that. I haven't gone high tech. So I think that's just about everything. I've shown you the ink blending. There's the surprise version. I wouldn't use those card colors. That one isn't too bad, but I don't think the blue really does anything there. There's the original one. Here's the welcome. I'm definitely not going to use the yellow there, but that might be okay. But then if I could pick up something with that broken china, that's definitely what I'd do for that. And, oh yeah, and then the happy birthday. I really like this. So that's about it. Any questions? So just a reminder that I'll be gone for a couple of weeks. I think you might get a little video in the meantime Kathy Jo is talking about it. If I put that out there into the world, maybe she'll do it and she'll share a technique with you next week. It probably won't be live, but you never know what will hatch. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Oh, Suzanne. Oh, such a bad girl. Your Tombow mono eraser, come back in and get rid of that line. You know, really, it doesn't show up, but as soon as you take a photograph of it, it would. Okay, and if you're working on something really dark, then draw your line with a soapstone pencil. Okay, so hopefully we'll see you here in a couple of weeks' time, and don't forget to drop into Quietfire Creations, and please join the Suzanne Cannon fan page, because it'd be great to see people posting there, and we should make some plans for doing something over there. So I think that's just about it. So thanks for coming, and we'll see you next time. Happy creating.